we're going to take a look at division. So division has that old longhand way of doing it that most people don't remember. We're not going to do much in the way of that. Its application in our course isn't there. It's good to know, but for what we're going to be, most of our purposes, we're going to be sticking to numbers that fit in and around the multiplication table, and you won't need to do very large number division. So what we'll look, in a lot of cases, what we're going to be doing is just reversing things that happen on the multiplication table. Division is the opposite of multiplication, so one way to look at it is to ask the question like this. Instead of saying 24 divided by 4, we can say 4 times what is 24? So now we're just filling in the blanks of a multiplication question, which is sometimes a little easier than thinking of it as division. Well, 4 times 6 is 24. But all that means is that 24 divided by 4 is 6. In the next case, we have something times 7 is 56. Well, 7 times 8 is 56. But all that means, again, is 56 divided by 7 is 8. So it's just a different way of writing the division. Now, below I've written them in a different way. So these aren't fractions. People, oh no, fractions are scary, don't show me fractions. These aren't fractions, these are actually division questions. And if you think about the division symbol that you know and love, it looks like this. It's something, a bar, and something. This is where they get it from. This here is a division question. 24 bar 4. It's 24 divided by 4. This one here is 56 divided by 7. And this is how I want you to try and write your division questions out, because this symbol here makes things a little more difficult as we move through. And we often use this bar notation in the grade 10, 11, and beyond maths. So 24 divided by 4, well, what times 4 is 24? It's 6. And then 56 divided by 7, well, 7 times what is 56? Well, it's 8. So we're actually doing multiplication questions. We're just filling in the gaps of a multiplication question. Now, another kind of related to division activity that we'll do a lot is trying to find pairs of numbers that multiply to different numbers. So in the first case here, I'm looking for some numbers that will multiply to 36. So we're actually doing some division, but it's not really anything different than multiplication. We're just thinking of what multiplication works. So some numbers that will multiply to 36, well, might be 6 times 6. But what else works? Because 6 times 6 isn't the only set of numbers. Well, 4 works. 4 goes into 36 9 times. 3 works. 3 goes into 36 12 times. 2 works. 2 goes into 36 18 times. That one might be a little tougher. It's not on your multiplication chart, but with these smaller numbers, you need to be able to work with a few of the extra ones on top of the chart. Also, notice the patterns in the numbers here. This first column here, I'm going to use a different color. This first column is going down. And this column is going up. Sorry, wrong way for that arrow. Sorry, it goes this way. And this column is going up. These are all the numbers that will divide into 36. And we know we've hit them all because we can't go any smaller. I mean, we could put 1 and 36 in there as well. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And then we've hit 6 again. There is nothing in between those, and this kind of shows you that you've hit all the numbers. This is one way to note that you've hit all the numbers. If you hit a pair of numbers, or you hit numbers that are side by side. Something you might pick up on. If you don't understand and you don't get it, don't worry about it. But for those of you that are a little more proficient at recognizing patterns, that's something that you might make use of. All right, one more, and that's 120. So what are some numbers that multiply to 120? Well, anything that ends in a 0, I know multiplies by 10. So we have 10 times 12. We could also use a number like 5. 5 times 24. We could use a number like 4. And we have 4 times 30. 3 goes in there. 3 goes in there 40 times. 2 goes in there. 2 goes in there 60 times. 1 goes in there 120 times. And there's also some more that probably fit right in here between the 10 and the 5. So there's a 6 that could go in there. So 6 goes into 120 20 times. 7's not going to work. 8 is going to go in there 15 times. And the last number we could try is 9. And then why do I say the 9 is the last number we can try? Well, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and the only thing left before we hit the 10 is 9. And then we know the 11 doesn't work, so that kind of shows that pattern I was talking about over there. Again, if you don't get that idea, that's okay, but we do need to be able to break these down. And if I take a look at it, 9 is not going to go into 120. So that's my set of numbers that multiply there. You'll have to practice a little bit with this, but this is something we are going to use a lot as we move through some of our algebra and move into some later graphing activities and things like that. So division, opposite of multiplication. So all you're doing is thinking about multiplication. Go back, practice that multiplication table. You want to be really good at it. It'll make the division questions easier. It'll make the multiplication questions easier. And it'll make the new materials that we're going to get into a lot easier for you.